Hey guys, just a couple of days into the month of August, I got the nudge to do a monthly snapshot here because this month, August, is really preparing us for the next couple months of time. And I'll get to why in just a second. Um, August 2025 is numerologically reduced to the number eight, which is the infinity symbol. And I'll get to that in a second. August is also really embodies the energy of Leo, and it's interesting how numerologically we can see that, and just astrologically we can see it too. If we think about one of the things that's happening in August, at least the first half of August, we have Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is something that happens, you know, not that unusual. It's about communication, but we also have Mercury in the very first day of the month. And, it's not just the very first day. A Cazimi is something that's operational for a couple degrees, but it's Cazimi, the sun. And then because it's Cazimi, we also know at some point it's also going to be combust. And so that also tells us that our communication is going through a reboot of sorts, and that it's a good idea for us to, during the first part of the month, use our intuition in our communication and also use our heart because we're in Leo season. Leo is fixed masculine fire ruled by the sun. It's regal, noble, dignified, always heart centered, wants everybody to have a good time. Not just good time, but it's, the energy of joy, the energy of expansion. And so that's going to mean that we can also see a little bit of dramatic things happen, not to be worried about it, because Leo is also a very courageous sign. And we're going to be able to trust our intuition in knowing that we're going to know what we need to know when we need to know it if we're interested in staying open. As always, it's a good idea to pay attention to the energy, to spend some time in nature, to spend some time meditating, to spend some time in whatever way you want to sit with yourself and be with yourself, whether it's journaling or just sitting under a tree or reading a book that makes you feel centered. This month is going to be a really good month for us to keep tuned into ourselves as we're going to be motivated to start to turn outward and to take action. The first week of August is definitely a week that is action oriented. We're going to be starting to feel like there's traction moving forward. Leo season is actually the 23rd of July to the 22nd of August. So it takes up a lot of the energy of August in that sense. And then it's followed by Virgo season for the latter little part of August. But the main attraction in a very leonine, feline, cardinal. Well, Leo isn't cardinal. Leo is fixed, but it's got this regalness about it. And I mentioned that, the in the tarot, the number eight card, we're in the number eighth month. The number eight card is the strength card. And I'll see if I can put an image of it up here. But if you look at the strength card symbolizes a woman taking some kind of like gentle yet powerful mastery over this lion. And the lion could be the inner instincts, but the lion could also be the parts of us that maybe are, I mentioned for the weekly report this week, there might be some things that subconsciously we're just, because we've been alive on this planet for however many years we've been alive, there's things that we think that are true and ways that we believe things need to be done. And we might be even creating obstacles for ourselves. But this card, she's taming this lion with an infinity loop over her head. And this is kind of signaling we're not meant to change with brute force. This is a gentle power. It's a love and understanding power. It represents strength and compassion. And it suggests to us that strength and compassion are going to provide us with the ability to tame these sort of primal instincts. And how do we tame them? We tame them through the Leo-like qualities of the heart: love, truth, understanding. And so the infinity symbol is actually the number 8 turned on its side, right? And I love the use of the infinity symbol because it's this idea not just of infinity, but it's this idea to me of reciprocity. It's this idea of whatever was on one side goes over to the other, and everything's always held in balance, right? And so, infinity, possibility, reciprocity, reciprocal actions, also regenerative actions. The word regenerative is coming through. And I think that's a big word just in terms of the next phase on our planet and this idea of embodying unity consciousness. um, this idea of reciprocity would be giving and receiving, and how they're both necessary, right? But the other thing that's coming through about August is we're going to start to feel a forward momentum, but we're already in a new world, even if we don't see it yet. So by default, the old ways of doing things aren't going to be the best ways to do it. So one example would be forward, action, go now. I feel the flow. Gonna do it the same old way. We're not supposed to just do the same old thing and expect the same old outcome. If that is how we orient ourselves, we might miss some tremendous opportunities. So the infinity loop and the number 8 are reminding us of, for example, the importance of non-action and action, the importance of resting and self-care, and then action, courageous action. We can't just always be doing one thing. I mentioned in the weekly astrology report that one of the symbols that came through was the yin yang symbol. And the month of August is definitely kind of the embodiment of that in another way, with the numerology and the symbolism of the infinity loop. It's also worth noting I will have a separate podcast for the Lion's Gate, which is the day before the new moon. I might even combine them. But the Lion's Gate is a very powerful portal that happens every year on the 8th of August. And if you think about it, it's just like what it sounds. It's two infinities. And to have that the day before the new moon, and to have that as we're kind of going to be, I'll explain in the next podcast why this is kicking off eclipse season. Pretty cool stuff. Also, it's worth noting, I won't spend too much time on it here, but the minor triangle that is the dance and the harmonious aspects between Neptune at the top and Uranus and Pluto at the bottom. The minor triangle is really activating August through December this year. And so to have the minor triangle really activating right now is going to mean, as I mentioned, all the outer planets are, as we're going through this time of rebirth, we can take comfort that there are subtle energies, there are higher orders of things, there are things that are beyond us that are informing us and that are informing the energies on our planet. And Neptune is at the helm in the sign of Aries, and Neptune is active in this first week of August. As I'm recording this, Neptune's going to be active throughout a fair amount of August. Neptune in Aries is inviting us to be the embodiment of the change and to realize the ways, one of the most expedient ways, if we're trying to find and create this new world and we're looking for things that we can do. This minor triangle with Neptune at the helm is inviting us to consider that the one thing and the most powerful thing that we absolutely have control of and can control is ourselves and our vibration. And then Neptune continually offers the question, illusion and delusion. How are we, if we're seeking truth, if we're seeking justice, if we're seeking harmony, and we're charting this course into a brave new world, what are some ways that we're still operating in an outdated, delusional way? What are some of the things that we might still be holding on to? And that maybe as we slowly release these things and slowly begin to accept and understand that there might be a new way of doing or being or thinking. And so that challenge means that we go first. And I think that is very much what the month of August is about. All right, tons of love. See you soon. And a quick note to, if you haven't already joined my email list, I'm going to invite you to do so because I've got a couple exciting things coming in August and September. One is I'm opening an online herbal store with tons of goodies that are astrologically based. The other is I'm thrilled to roll out at the end of August, early September, a new course on astrology, tarot, and the Kabbalah. If either of those things interest you, I always offer some special discounts for folks on my email list. So I will put a link somewhere in the information in this post. All right. Tons of love. See you soon.